Sorry, did not switch the microphone on. Sorry, Nish. That's my mistake. I had to do 3 things at the start today, and I forgot one. But we are watching this demolition of Atletico Paranense, and we absolutely took them apart. And it does seem that we have recovered and are able to score goals now. My forwards are looking a lot more dangerous. And this was the last game we played before coming on air, and we just were rattling in the goals. It was an amazing performance. We beat them at the end by 6-0, and that is just part of what has been happening since I was last here. Welcome back, guys, and it is good to see you again, and thank you for letting me know that I hadn't switched the microphone on. Yeah, I had a little bit of an episode yesterday morning. I had to have people around. The paramedics came around and had a look, and they said that I was just overtired and I needed to rest for at least a week. I thought that was a bit harsh on me at the time, and I slept all day yesterday, and I've woken up this morning and I feel a lot better. So although we're not going to be going 300 miles an hour, I think that just doing an hour and 20 minutes isn't going to hurt. And the other thing is I do have an excellent condition on the internet connection. I hope it's going to stay that way, so that we can proceed for the next hour and 20 minutes or so. So yeah, rather, it's no problem. I didn't want to. Good evening, busy bien. Good to see you here. I didn't want to raise any concerns. I wasn't that concerned. It was just a minor tremor. And they just said I have to rest. But I'm feeling much better now. So hopefully we'll get through this hour without any problems. Again, I'm resting as much as I can. So they can't expect me to rest all day for a week. It was totally nonsensical. And there's only so much American crime drama I can tolerate in one day. So watching TV is not the answer for me. So anyway, we are up and running, and we have played through a couple of games since you were last with us, and our form continues, because as you saw from that screen, we are top of the league. You saw us beating Godoy Cruz in the Libertadores by 3-1, and then we beat America MG by 2-1. And these 2 games we struggled, and as you can see before that, we were struggling to score goals. We were really digging out results. But then Internacional, who were top of the league at the time and gave me grave concerns, we put them away quite easily, 4-0. We then lost, unfortunately, to Flamengo. It didn't seem that whatever I tried, it didn't seem to matter, and we eventually lost that one by 1-0. I guess they are favourites to win the title, Flamengo, so it wasn't a bad effort, losing only 1-0. But then in the Copa de Brazil 4th round, we had a narrow victory against Fortaleza by 2-1 in the first leg of the 4th round. We will be playing the second leg, and that's not an easy game, because Fortaleza are a 3-star reputation team. Despite the fact they're in Serie B, I take these teams really seriously, because as we've seen up here, it wasn't so easy to win that competition that we won. And then we beat Cruzeiro by 4-0, and it seemed like our goal scoring had returned. And CRB, we also then, we still have some 3-letter names here. Club de Regatas Brazil, we beat them by 2-0 away. And then that big victory against Atletico Goianiense, when we beat them by 6-0. So we go into this game feeling good about ourselves, and the game against Vasco after should be a 3-pointer, but nothing is guaranteed. And as I've said before, I am still waiting for this to fall apart. And I thought it had gone here, but we recovered magnificently. So Yeah, busy BN. Just follow what I'm telling you. And it's not about shape. A tactic is not about shape. I have a bizarre shape going on here. It looks a bit like a Christmas tree. It's just covering the pitch and remembering that this is how you are going to defend. Your player roles will determine how you are going to attack. So the player roles become important in terms of how you are going to attack. That's all it is, really. And the instructions just tell the team how you want them to play, your vision of how you want to play. So follow along, busy BN, and it will become clear eventually. And I do need to turn my phone off. Hi, David. Good to see you again. Which is being a bit of a nuisance at the moment. Phones can be like that. And we will get on with what we have to do today. The transfer window had shut before the last episode, so I've got nothing to update you on in terms of the transfer window. I do have tired players, though, but our squad is performing extremely well. And if you look at the number of green dots, so we only have half a dozen players who are under 7, and the lowest of those is 6.9. So this team is playing out of its skin. Rotation is very, very important in terms of appearances. We've tried to get players playing, and we have a good spread of rotation here. And then in terms of goals scored, Kamalo has 12 with 5 assists. He's got an average rating of 7.37. Pineda started to score some goals again. His form is looking very good at the moment, and he has 12 appearances, 11 goals. Maxi Alves has 10 goals and 6 assists, and Perotti has 10 goals and 3 assists. And with that in mind, Pineda or Perotti today, I've decided to go with Perotti. I think this is the cup game. I'm not really too worried about it, and I'm going to rest some of the players. I talked to somebody earlier on today via email about how important it is to rotate your players in times when you're going to be playing a lot of games. And so I have rested some players. Naldi has come into a bit of form, so he's going to get a second game. Helinho comes in, and Perotti comes in for Pineda. And we're going to play Tecco, our young wing back. Might be a bit of a gamble, but I do have problems with injuries with my 2 main wing backs, Riquelme and Cipriano, and they're both expected to be out for another week. So we're going to play Tecco, see how he gets on, and hope. The only other option I have is Lezinho, who's also young, so I have a problem at left wing back. But apart from that, I think it's a team that should be winning this game. So we do have 2 games to play. The sad thing is I'm a pro coach in real life, but I can't. Often FM is not real life. And the roles in FM really don't get played to the letter in real life, but they get played to the letter in FM. So it's really just learning what the role does. I mean, it's like play a game, put somebody in a certain role and see where he goes. And when you're attacking, see where his position is. And does he hold back? Does he go forward? And also you can use the heat map in game to tell you, is he in the wrong position that you want him to be? And then when you're defending, of course, you'd expect to see good coverage at the back. So the tactic itself is just the starting point. It's the shape that you want them to be in when they're defending. And the attacking movement will be defined by the role that you actually give the player. So, and the instructions, of course, that you give them will determine how they behave when they're going forward. And that's how I've always looked at it. And hopefully, through my videos, you can start to understand what I'm trying to do when I put a tactic together. Anyway, we are going to get on with this game. This is a game we should be winning, but I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to start, in a balanced way. I don't want to go at them too hard. We'll see what happens as the game goes along. He does want to play Oliveira instead of Perotti, but Perotti hasn't played in a while, so in a couple of games, so I do want to give him a go. Stay on feet because he thinks we should be playing cautious. Well, I don't think we should be playing cautious, but he might be right at the end of the day, because he might know that they're going to come at us. We'll just have to keep an eye on that, I think, and see what happens. They're playing narrow as well, and so they might try and dominate the midfield. So we do have to be very, very careful, and pushing the line up high might save us, because we will have a compact line in the middle. It is a little rotated, but it's still a team that is good enough to get us a victory here. We are 2-1 up from the first leg, so we have a little bit of leeway, but not much. It was a poor game, really, and we should have scored more. But I think I should say we are favourites. Go out there and show them, leave them in no doubt as to what we are capable of doing. And they seem to have responded well to that. I always go back and look at the opposition instructions and ask him to have a rethink. And he has had a rethink, and he's changed some stuff. So hopefully, I actually believe that's a little trap that is set by FM, that if you don't go back and get him to double check, then it's like that's for being so lazy that the game will punish you. I actually do believe that's a trap. And well done, Tecco. He did well there. I thought he was going to have the ball taken off him. He's made a good start. He's, I think, only 18 years old. And hopefully he will have a good game as well as the rest of them. We are pushing them back. I can see from the heat map. We're playing pretty much down the left, down Tecco's side, which is not what I really want. But we are pushing them back, and they are almost now defending in their penalty area. That might make it difficult for us to score, but that's not my problem. They are the ones who need to score. And if we don't score, it doesn't matter, as long as they don't score. And that was pretty poor from Khumalo. I did have doubts about starting Khumalo, but he's in such good form. And he does tend to whinge a little bit if I leave him out, even for one game. So I decided to start him. But he also can get very tired. He's playing a lot of football. So I did have doubts, but decided to go with him in the end. And as you can see, nothing to worry about at the moment. We are dominating the game. And as long as we play the game in their half, then I think we should be fine. I do have to be careful of counter-attacks. But if we can get a goal, then that will be even better. But they are like so deep. They're defending on the penalty spot. They're very, very deep when they're defending. And that probably is their game plan, to do just this, to break at pace and try to catch us when we're getting forward. But as long as we keep them from creating chances, dominate possession, I'm perfectly happy. The fact that they are playing narrow means that the only threat is likely to come from this midfield area. They may look to dominate the midfield. They're not at the moment. I'm looking at how many players they have going forward. They've got a good number, 6 players going forward when they attack. So, and how much are they on the line, on the shoulder of our defence? They are right on the shoulder of our defence, which is something I need to be aware of. And in fact, I will address that now. Because if they are going to push right up on the shoulder, then I want to drop back a little bit. Oh, I don't know about that, Nish. The domination can amount to nothing if you don't score. And they only needs one chance often, and the opposition will score. In comprehensive, that doesn't happen as much. But in key highlights, one chance is enough. They are coming at us a little bit now. That was well done, but unfortunately, when you tackle someone, you actually never win the ball, which is something that I've noticed. Teco didn't do very well there. It was pretty weak, that header. And we are letting them come at us a little bit. But as long as we defend well, I'll be quite happy. 2-1 is not the greatest of leads. And a single goal will make it all square. Even if we lose today, I won't be worried about going out of the cup. We've got so many competitions. It's not possible to win them all. And losing here won't really hurt. Because it'll just mean less games. And I am concerned that we've played so many games that the team just can't keep this up. And although we've got a big squad, I'm just worried. I'm just concerned that we won't be able to keep this up. But at the moment, we're doing all right. We're still pushing them back. They're still trying to counter-attack. And defensively, we're playing well. Even Teco is having a very good game. He's on a 6.9. So we're all playing reasonably well. I'd like a goal, if we can get one, boys, with a better team. And I'd like a goal. And what I might do is slow everything down. Is just before half-time, we'll try to stop this pacey nonsense. And we'll just slow the tempo down, which will hopefully stop them trying to come at us at speed. Just now hold the ball. You don't have to win this game. You just have to not concede. So just hold on to the ball now. And we'll regroup at half-time. We'll have a look. And that's nice. That's nice passing. He's a bit isolated now, though. Looking inside, Helinho does quite well, but his pass is poor. But well done to Pires. Can we find someone? Is it going to be one of those days where I'm going to struggle to find that goal? Possibly. But like I said, we don't have to score. You can see how deep they are defending. They're defending very, very deep. And we've also pushed the line back a little bit, so they were under no pressure then when they were collecting the ball. XG is only 0.15, but we're in control of the game. And if we have a look at some of the data, you can see our position on the field. What worries me is our focus is down the left-hand side where Teco is. He's not very experienced. And so we should really be focused down the right-hand side. And maybe I need to address that. But certainly, I don't think that our shooting has been very good. I can't get access to that at the moment. But in terms of our shooting, we've 3 chances and none on target. So it's not really just the shooting. It's the creating. We're still leading, so make sure that is the case at full time. And get out there, do better. There's no player that I want to have a word with. I actually might tell them to focus down the right-hand side. And Pires is a very experienced player. And we're focusing it down the left-hand side where I don't want it to be focused, because he's just a young kid and he's playing a lot of football out there. Give him a break. Focus down this side. And just be defensively solid. And that's the advantage of pushing the line back, because now they're not able to get the ball over the top. And our defence looks very comfortable. Aguilera, we score a lot of those, but unfortunately Aguilera couldn't actually put that one away. And it's still 0-0, but I'm still fairly happy. And I'm not going to throw any bodies forward at this point in time, because it really doesn't matter. If they go a goal in front, I will have to push bodies forward a little bit. But if they don't, then we'll keep everything exactly as it is. And they're now trying an Aguilera trick, by a pot shot from distance. That is one of the dangers of dropping the line, is it does leave space in front of them. But if you're playing against a team whose finishing is not Haaland, then it's not that much of a risk. Everything, it's like busy. Everything in Football Manager is about risk. How much risk are you willing to take? How much risk do you need to take? And the more players you push forward, the more risky it becomes. I don't think so, because our set pieces have not looked to me like they are providing anything spectacular, so I don't think we'll play for set pieces. If I want to slow the game down later, that might be a good idea. And again, we're down the left-hand side where Teco is, and it's not something that I want, really. That's better. I want Pires much more involved in the game. He's much more experienced, and we should be looking for him rather than for the left wing-back. And again, we're looking for the left wing-back, but they might have confidence in him. And he is having a fairly decent game. He's on a 7.1. So he's playing fairly decently. This is the danger, the counter-attack, when you've got a team defending so deep. And there's the run from midfield, and we didn't cover it. And I need to find out who that was. And we've got two players who I need to keep an eye on, Gustavo and Para. So we'll ask our assistants again. Para is the midfield runner, so I want him type marked, track him. And Coutinho, we probably need to type mark him as well. Just probably need somebody to stay on him and try and take those two boys out of the game. At the moment, nobody has had a shot on target in this game. After all the goals we've been scoring, nothing has happened when we've gone live. I'm going to make a couple of changes now to rest some of these Herberts. And Camalo and Perotti are not playing very well. I'm going to give Oliveira his chance. And David can come on for Kumalo. I think the defence is playing reasonably well. Hi, Jordan. Thank you very much for that. Happy to be able to help. And it's comments like that give me the inspiration to keep going. So I'm just going to change the personnel up front to see if we can't get a shot or two on target. I don't think that I've got really, looking at it, anything else to worry about. I want to check how tired they are. They are getting a little bit tired. But I don't think that I really want to do anything. All I want to do is get a draw. And that will be fine for me. It's up to them to score the goal to make me come out at them. But a win would be good because we'd get that green dot, and having this series of green dots has been good for us. So getting that green dot will be good. But hopefully the personnel changes up front will do the trick. That's nothing to do with the personnel changes up front. We've got one from a set piece. My assistant was right. Maybe I should have played for set pieces, but it doesn't matter. We've got ourselves into the lead, and now they've got to come out at us. And if they come out, they've got to try and win this game now. They've got to score 2 goals. And if they come out, they're going to leave space at the back. And hopefully our new boys with their fresh legs up top can now take advantage of that. I don't need to change anything. We just keep playing the way that we're playing. I'm going to shout a little bit of encouragement now. He's been the outstanding player on the pitch, and well done to him. Wasn't part of my game plan to play it to him, and in a sense, even though I've asked them to play it down the right. They're still seeking him out. And you can see from our heat map, the left-hand side of the pitch is where we've had all the play. Oh, and we're getting a bit sloppy now, are we? Just in my encouragement, we've got ourselves a little bit sloppy. And that's not good. After he scored his goal, he's just gone and got himself a bit sloppy. And that'll cost him in terms of his rating. And that shout now has to be followed by a focus. But I don't want to do it yet. We'll see how they react to that. Suddenly the game has produced a couple of goals. But I'm still not going to change what we're doing, because they still have to come at us. We've not been very effective. We've not created too many chances, so it may be time to think about, let's make some substitutions. Aguilera has been poor. It's the front three. We're going through that again, are we? We'll bring Boschilla on. Actually, we'll switch Boschilla with David. And then the midfield, who've been pretty lame, actually. Helinho is pretty lame today. So we'll give him a break. I'm going to bring Kardec on. Kardec hasn't played much. He's just a fringe player. But we'll see what I want him to do. Because his passing isn't as good, I want him to just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Pass a little bit quicker. There's a ball over the top again. They're still trying that. Their game plan is very simple. They wanted to defend deep and catch us on the break. And the ball's gone over. 1-1 is good for me. I maybe need to think about one of these defenders, giving them a rest. We'll do it after this next highlight. And then I'll answer that question, Jordan. I just need to focus on this a little bit. So I got a funny feeling my defense is getting a little bit lazy. And starting to get a bit complacent. We're still getting into positions, but I don't know. It's been a lackluster performance, and this is, I guess, because of the amount of games that we've been playing. I'm going to make that final change now. We have got Pires, who's tired. So Haverton can come on for Pires. Naldi's quite tired, so I'm just going to change his role to a ball winner on defend. We're going to try and hold on to the game now. We don't need to bother with that anymore. I'm going to go narrow. And we'll come off the counter. We don't need to. We'll just come off the trigger press a little bit. And we're just going to try and hold on now and hope that they don't get the second one. They've certainly come back into the game. They've had second wind since we scored. But the goal that they scored was just a complete, utter mistake. And I just got to hope he doesn't make another one. So I want to tell them all in a minute to focus as well. They're getting a lot of bodies forward now. So it might be that I have to go defensive in a couple of minutes. But we really need to hold on to the ball. That's the most important thing that their team has to do now. Go on, Boschilla. Oh, what a chance. And David can't put it away. It's one of those days in front of goal. But we're actually playing a little bit better now as we are holding on to the ball. So I'm going to go a little bit shorter in terms of passing. And you can see the time wasting that's going on here, but it's a bit early for time wasting, boys. And this is the danger where they will try and get bodies up, so we have to defend very well. I'm now going to put the wing backs, both of them, on support, so that they're not bombing up the pitch and getting themselves out of position. And I'm going to push the line back up. As soon as I can, I'm going to push the line back up. In fact, we can do it this way. Because I want to start closing that midfield off. And trying to win the second balls, and that's offside. So now we will... I've forgotten what I was going to do there, but never mind. And now we've got to start really closing it down. We're going to time waste, play out of defence, hold our shape. We don't need to do that anymore. And I'm coming down into a mid-block, just to get bodies behind the ball now. And that should be that. Hopefully. If they get another goal now, we're in trouble. It's going to go to penalties. I think the wing backs can go on to defend now. There's no need for them to go anywhere. And we'll just see this out. And now we'll go defensive. Just hold the ball now. And that's how you close a game down. And this game was kind of strange. It was a game that I was nervous about, but I didn't feel like I had to do anything because we were ahead. And so a draw is perfectly fine. And now we're pushing them back into their half, and it's game over, really. Yeah, one of my tactics with this team is to play strikerless. If my striker's not playing very well, then I can drag the forward back into a 3 in attacking mid. The strikerless has always been good fun. And that's it. Well done, boys. A 1-1 draw. Probably shouldn't be too happy, but I am. We weren't at our best. I wouldn't play 3 shadow strikers. What I would do with mine is I would bring him back, but play him as... So he would go to a shadow striker and he would be an attacking mid. Often on support. That's what I would actually do with mine. And then he's sitting here and the other 2 are bombing past him. You can also then put a centre mid on attack. And I want him as a pressing forward, not a deep lying forward. So this is almost a strikerless. It's just I've got a striker up top. But if they're not scoring, I have no problem going to a strikerless. So we've done well. We've got through that, although it wasn't the greatest game. But now it's back to business. We have to play against Vasco in a few days. So your question, I watched your tutorials on how to have a better defence. However, I've been leaking goals, even though I have 2 of the better central defenders in my league. Okay, defending is about... Well, yeah, you got to like watch the videos in terms of defending. How I'm defending here is not with the number of players I have defending. What I'm doing to defend is pressing the line much higher. And that will depend on the team that you're playing against. And if you're playing the game in this area of the pitch, then you don't really have much to worry about in terms of defending. So defending starts from your lines. If you're playing against a better team who have really good creative players, perhaps they're pacey or they are a little bit perhaps they can dribble, move the ball, then drop the line back. Give your defenders time to deal with the balls that are coming to them. And then when you have really pacey teams, then have both your wing backs or full backs on support, and make sure when they are very, very good teams that they're closing down less often. And that's how I defend. And I don't leak many goals. But defending comes from your position on the field. Defending is not something that an individual does. It's something that the whole team does. And the whole team needs to be involved. And in terms of defending, like what I did, what kind of English was that? When you're really defending, pull your line back. Now that means, if you notice, there's a difference between the space, small difference between the space that's available, and it's pushed up. Everything is pushed up, so you're playing the game in a smaller space. And then if you go to a low block, you can see now that gap has become really small. And what the low block means is that you are forcing all your players into a very small space on the pitch. If you then go narrow, you decrease the width as well. So all the players are going to be crammed into this very small area of the pitch. Not a good way to attack, but a good way to defend. So you can see pretty much there, the gap between your forwards and your defensive line is very small. So I've got all my players condensed into that small space. That means that I will get bodies in front of the opposition. You can see as I move it forward, higher up the pitch, the gap gets bigger. And that's basically the background to high press or low block. Low block, you will get lots of bodies behind the ball. You might, depending on what the opposition do, if they are getting shots from just outside your box, then pull your line down, because that will stop them getting the shots from outside your box. If they are a threat in the midfield area, push your line up. And then it compresses the midfield and stops them spraying passes. And that is basically what we're doing here. So we have this big game coming up. I want to rest the team now because I'm a big fan of resting the team after they've played in busy periods. And this is a very busy period. Somebody asked me the other day, Phil, am I a coach in real life or just... probably neither. I was a rugby coach and a cricket coach in days gone by. I've never been a football coach. I wouldn't say I'm extremely knowledgeable with regard to football. I've just learned FM. I've been playing it for a long time, and I've learned what things mean. And one of the things that I do look for when playing this game is I look for a way to beat it, because I also understand that it's a game. It's not real life, and so there are ways to beat it. And last year, beating the game took me up until about 3 months before the new game was due to come out. It took me a long time to figure it out, but I did figure it out in the end. This year, it's not taken so long, and it was about how to defend. This game this year is about how do you defend, and if you defend well, you'll win things. Paraxides doesn't seem himself. Should offer Paraxides a target. I find that they don't go for these targets. I do have a bit of strength and depth in midfield. He could probably go out on loan. I don't see there's a problem with that. I don't want him to, because I don't want another player going out. He's a good player. Not great, but a good, solid squad player. In terms of, is there anybody he likes? Just in terms of organising the defence, Paraxides is an influential player. I didn't switch that off, did I? He doesn't have anybody who thinks is a great leader. Expects to play against Vasco. He is unhappy. But do I want to let him go out on loan? I mean, I've got plenty of attacking midfielders. It's just that maybe we might leave ourselves... No, we won't leave ourselves particularly short. So he probably could go out on loan. So we'll get that organised for him. So Paraxides, let's have a word with him. What is your problem, Sunshine? I'll try him with a target, and they don't want... Although FM said they were introducing this to make it a little bit easier, I don't think I've ever had someone... I accept that I'll sort out a loan for you. I don't think I've ever had a player agree to doing a target, so I'm not quite sure why it's in the game. They did say it was to make life easier for us, the same as intermediary selling players. I've never had an intermediary sell a player yet either. They keep coming to me and saying, no, nobody's interested. Hey Martin, thanks for that. How you doing? And untouchable, of course. We are only predicted to finish in 10th, and so being top of the league is a little bit of a shocker for me. And as I said, I do worry a lot about when you are on this kind of run, that it's suddenly all going to come crashing down in the end. I mean, it could come crashing down now, because a red dot here gives you a yellow and a red, and it would be very easy to get another red. And so it's really important that games like this, Vasco, you don't lose. Better to draw than lose. And because it's so important that you don't let morale go down. And a few results against you could let morale go down. So we're going to set up not wanting to lose this game. Even though they're 17th, it's a banana skin. And where is their team report? I haven't had their team report, have I? Gomez is good player. They are good in the air. But so are we. So I won't be too worried about that. And Paiva, the right wing. So we've got Gomez and Paiva. They don't pass very well. Their decisions are poor. Their first touch is poor. We have to get in their face. They don't have acceleration and pace. They've got no stamina, no aggression. They're not very aggressive. So we have to get in their face. And start from the start. We need to be worrying them. So we're going to go positive. And we're going to push, of course, the lines right up. And we are going to get stuck in. And we're going to counter press them as well. We've got to get at them. Got to get in their face and make their life a misery. Because they don't have a lot going on. Jesus, Abba, Anderson. I tend to trust my assistant here, and Anderson on the right, Abba. Because what I found is he's much better than me. So Abba coming in here, although he wasn't in his best form in the last game. And Anderson, Jesus in here. Mustafa is playing very well. Galarza, Flamenco and Redondo. My two best midfielders, Galarza and Redondo. So I'm guessing that's a good call. They were rested for the last game. Where is Galarza? Galarza and Redondo, Aguilera, Cumelo, and my main man up top, Pineda, who's been in very good form. Flamenco or Pires? Pires may well be getting tired. Teco will have to continue because I've still got both my main fullbacks out. And yeah, let's give Pires a rest. He's much better than I am, my assistant, at rotation, which is why I tend to listen to him a lot. Martin has a question. What happens if I have a good tactic and I've been winning matches, but when playing international cups, I keep getting loss after loss? Probably because you need to play differently in the intercontinental stuff. And I found over the years that I need two ways of playing, that I might be a good team winning in my domestic league, but the teams in the continental cups are a little better than what's in my domestic league. And so I have a more defensive setup for when I'm playing in continental competitions. And sometimes I will play with a low block. And with Juventus coming up, I'm going to start playing with a low block, because I'm going to be starting to play a few teams who are much, much better than me. So those games, it's about just stay in the game as long as you can. And sometimes with the international competitions, it's just the teams are better and you have to adapt for better teams and become a little bit more defensive. And when I say become a little bit more defensive, it doesn't mean that you're not going to attack, because you're not changing the roles. If you become a little bit more defensive, I might put him on support, and then what I might do is go into a low block. All I'm doing is getting bodies in front of the ball. Nothing else has changed. So we're still going to attack, but the mentality that if I go to defensive mentality, all that is telling my players is don't go attacking like a bunch of nutcases. Keep your shape and only attack when you know it's safe to leave your position. So you will create less chances. You'll still create chances, but you're going to just be more focused on making sure that you've got enough bodies back to defend. So sometimes the international stuff is because you're playing better teams and you need to have a different way of playing. With Benfica last year, I was playing a very high press, very, very high press, similar to this, but with counter-attack switched on and with counter-press switched on. But in Europe, I won the Champions League playing with a low block, when I was playing with a completely different style in the league. It's just adapt what you're doing. Aguilera is injured. He's not going to be playing now, is he? Which is fine. I have a bunch of talent up top. And I'm going to play... Who is the man in form? Is Paraxides a good option here? I'm going to play Maxi Alves up here. It's a really good player who doesn't get his chance very often. Just try it. There's so many different things you have to think about in this game. There's no one solution to anything. That's just what I would tend to do. Like, Manchester City find it very difficult to win in Europe in FM24. If you just load up a save and go on holiday, you'll find that Manchester City don't do very well in Europe. They get knocked out in the playoffs or the round of 16. And it's simply because they've made these competitions harder to win. It used to be in Europe, you'd just win everything. Now they've made them harder to win. So you have to adapt what you're doing, basically. Hopefully that's helpful, but there's so many things that you can do. I just tend to focus on being a little bit less, taking fewer risks. The time that you are most vulnerable is the time that you are attacking. The more bodies you have flooding up the pitch, the less you have back defending. And you get caught so often when you turn the ball over going forward because you simply don't have enough. We've got another transfer window coming up. Have we? So, yeah, you just simply don't have enough people back because you told them all to go upfield and attack. And you are at your most vulnerable when you lose possession going forward. So just make sure you've got enough people back. That's how I do it. Okay, we need to win this. Oh, and we've gone down to second now because Corinthians have won. He wants to make some changes. I don't. No, I want to play. Ease off the tackles. Oh, Camelo. Probably a good idea then. But overall, no, I don't want to ease off tackles because they're not aggressive, they're not brave, they don't tackle very well. I want to get at them. I think that's the game plan for this one. Try and hurt them early. And then we'll see how the game goes after that. But I want to go at them early. Especially as they lack stamina and work great. And they will fade at the end anyway. Marlon Gomez always marked tightly. He always changes his mind between the initial meeting you have with him. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, actually. And we do know that they do have a player, Paiva, who's in good form and is playing very well. He's a very good dribbler. So don't want to get too close to him. Closing him down is not really an option because of his dribbling and his agility. His balance is poor, though. It's probably not an idea to get too close to him, but certainly to be turning him onto his left foot for now and giving him a hard tackle is probably a good idea. Just let him know that we have targeted him. I think it was his left foot, wasn't it? Yeah. Just let him know. We've got our eye on you. And we have been on a good run. Get out there. Why is he apprehensive? So I'm not too happy with Flamenco being apprehensive, but we'll see how he goes. So keep an eye on a couple of things. Paiva is one of them, and immediately they've gone to look for him. And also Flamenco on my right-hand side. Now we're also watching this passing movement. They're finding it very, very easy to pass around my press at the moment. So that might be just completely wasted energy. Yeah, the press is probably not a good idea, so we'll come off the press. It's just completely wasting energy. Paiva is a bit of a nuisance, and he's up against Teco there. And rather than going at them, they've come at us. And that's not a good sign. And this boy needs to be tight marked, but Teco's not going to be able to do it. But I'm going to tell him to do it anyway. See how he gets on. I might have to take him off and try someone else. They're looking for him. And what I also might need to do is keep the ball away from where he is. And he's clearly very, very dangerous. I need my team now to keep the ball away from... They have this habit of playing the ball down the left, and I don't want them to. And they've got to stop this. That is better. That's where we want to be playing, boys. Leave this fullback alone. I also want to tell him that I don't want him trigger pressing him. Mark him, yes, but if he's running at you, stay off him. So we are a goal behind very early on, and that's not good news. But this time, we have time to get back into this game. Oh, so unlucky. We're going through this we can't score business again. Hi, Theodore. How are you doing? Why can we not score? 3 shots, 0 on target again. We were in such good form. I switched the PC off and come back again, and suddenly it's gone again. But it's always tough in this league. They're playing like 70 games a season. They just get 2 weeks off. You're going to have periods. All teams have very poor periods. And this might be ours beginning. At the moment, we are creating chances. I want to push Galarza up. So I'm going to put him on an attack role. I want to get more bodies forward. We're dominating the game. And I want to get more players forward. We shouldn't be losing this game. And we do need to perhaps get more players forward. Take a risk or two. We will leave a space behind Galarzo, but hopefully my defenders will cope with that. We are pushing higher up, so the space should be minimal. I don't think now we are getting more bodies into those spaces. But I'd like to see this changing. I'd like to see a few more shots on target. Set pieces. I like I don't know what you guys feel about set pieces in FM. You just don't know what's going to happen in a set piece. You can't. I don't think you can really plan for it unless you get really into the nitty gritty. I just don't think you can plan for what's going to happen. That's better. Oh, but they're shooting from too far out now. But we are looking like we are back in the game. We're the better team. And I'd be surprised if we don't score. And that was pretty poor from Maxi Alves. Just didn't really know what to do with himself. So I'm actually going to tell him to shoot less often. He didn't quite know what to do with himself there. I'd rather him look for a pass, I think. But again, we're not dominating the game, which is what we should be doing. And I've pushed players forward and spaces are opening up. But well closed down. But sometimes you've got to take some risks. Pineda's not playing well. Tecco isn't having the game that he had last time. I think he got caught out. I didn't help him. I will ask my other wing back to come off the press a little bit. I want him to focus on attacking. We've got back into the game. Leandro Camalo. And we're back in the game. I did say I'll be surprised if we don't score one. And we've gone back to the top. Hi, Chris. How are you doing? And the goalkeeper didn't do very well there. But that shot was hit with venom. And now I think we are starting to boss this game. And you'll notice that he's gone very quiet. Since we type marked him, he's gone very quiet. They're not looking for him anymore. And in fact, their play is down the left-hand side now. I think they've realised that we've just taken him out of the game. So in that respect, Teco has done a very good job for me. And that's a poor pass. That was Flamenco. He was looking nervous, wasn't he? But he's done well. He's done well there. I'm going to encourage Flamenco in a minute. He's doing all right. Galarzo bursting into... Was that a penalty, ref? They're giving the foul there, but he didn't give the foul in the penalty area. We're a better team now. We've wrestled the game from them. We just need that one more goal. Flamenco's doing really well. I want to encourage him. He started the game very nervous. I've got the two other defenders, like Mustafa. I need a little bit more from him, so we're going to demand more. He's a bit lazy at the moment. And Pineda, I have a funny feeling it... Oh, what? Oh, they've hit the post. I thought that had gone in. Pineda, I think I need a little bit more from you as well. What is his role? He's playing as... He can play perfectly adequately as a pressing forward. Now, come on, let's get this second goal before half-time. Oh. But you remember that I said that to stop yourself going into a bad run, it's very, very important you don't lose. And so, again, I would take a draw here. Because I don't want any red dots. I'd rather take a draw than lose. And so the risks that I'm taking have to be balanced risks. Well, that was a good pass, but you should have hit it. And Flamenco is starting to play well now. He's got his confidence up, but that was a poor cross. They're now sitting back. And I'm watching where they're defending. They're defending on their penalty spot. They're sitting back. So I need a plan for later on to try and get them off their penalty spot. Which I can't think of at the moment. But we don't need to do anything for now because we're the better team. And that should be a corner. I saw the little deflection. And if we can just get another goal before half-time. Oh, so close. Set pieces are so funny. You never know what. Maxi Alves doesn't like pressing. So what should you do? What do you guys think you should do when a player says that? I don't like pressing as much as you're asking me to. What should you tell him? What do you think you should tell him? It's always an interesting one. Maxi Alves. Well, look at Maxi Alves. He has not got much aggression. He's got decent stamina. It's not brilliant. It's pretty much the same as the rest of the team. His acceleration is good. Teamwork and work rate are average for this kind of competition. Makes good decisions. He's brave. He just lacks aggression, that's all, in terms of pressing. So you should be telling him, don't be such a banana. Get on with the game. Get on with what you're supposed to do. Redondo needs to come off the tackles now. What do you think you should tell him? Should you tell him, okay, don't press? He's being asked to close down more. So he's being asked to close down more than anybody else. So let's take that off him. In real life, I tell him not to be such a ninny. To get on with what he's told to do. But FM is not real life. So we'll just take that off. And see how he responds. He's playing well. Teco's not playing particularly well. So I do have a problem. At left back. And I think I'm not going to tell... I'm going to ask my assistant. So the one that I'm marking, hard tackle. Now, I think we're doing okay in terms of markings. I don't need to do anything in that respect. Kamalo is struggling for fitness. And I think... I think my left back... I'm going to tell him... I'm going to go individuals. I'm going to tell Pineda that he's not playing good enough. I'm not happy. Need better from him. But with Teco, I'm going to try and encourage him a little bit. Keep going. You know you have the ability. And he seemed a little happier at that. If he doesn't get any better, then we will have to think about taking him off. And what I should do is keep the ball away from him, which is what we're doing. And I might slow the game down in a minute. Hey, Reckons, how are you doing? But we are definitely the better team. It did help that I pushed the Volante into an attack mode, because now we're getting bodies, more bodies into that attacking part of the field. Volante is up here now with the attack rather than back here with the defense. Does leave us vulnerable. It also helped coming off the press. They were finding it very easy to pass around our press. We're not great pressers. And so it was a little bit of a waste of time. We thought we'd try it. But I do have decisions to make because I don't want to concede a goal. So I'm going to go balanced for a little while. I really don't want to concede. And I'm going to take my wing back off attack and go to a support role. And as looking at that, there were 3 players offside there, referee. Pray for him. And let's just be a little bit more balanced in our play. I will happily take a draw, because I don't want to spiral into bad form. And it's really important that I don't lose here. But well done, Maxi Alves! Hey, Get Snapped, I'm doing good. How are you? And now we have got back in the lead. We've come from behind. Maxi Alves is obviously a lot happier now because he's been told you don't have to close down more often. Giat. I get a lot of these comments. What is my Giat? So Maxi Alves is playing like out of his skin now. Teco looks like he's performing better. Sorted those 2 problems. May not have won the game yet, but the other thing is, if you are struggling to score goals, people will always tell you, drop your lines back to pull them out. Ooh, Kamalo, come on. So if you don't always have to drop your lines back. Try first of all getting more people forward. That's what I tried here today. It worked. If that's not working, reduce the mentality. And now by reducing the mentality, we've gone 3-1 up now. What the reducing the mentality does is that it stops you attacking so often. So when you don't attack, it means that they have to come out and play football. And so that's what's happened here. That's what's happened here, and we've gone 3-1 up now. Get Snapped is a good pal of mine. Get Snapped's been coming to the live streams for a long time. And now that we've made those 2 little tweaks, we're much more in control of the game. Teko's rating has gone up by 0.2 as well. He's a lot happier. Maxi Alves is running riot out there. They need to type mark him or they're going to be in big trouble. We're camped in their half now and we've gone back to balanced. It's because now they have to come out. And there's the 4th. Kamalu has suddenly decided, hey, I'll have a game as well. So we are now 4-1 up. And a couple of little tweaks. I don't favour anyone, Addy. I'm happy to see you all. But I can't ban somebody who's been coming here a lot. That's very nice of you, Space Cadet. Very nice of you. I've been a little bit queasy myself, but feeling a lot better now. If I banned everybody, I'd be on my own here. That'd make me really lonely. I don't want to be lonely. I could play this at home on my own and I'd be just really lonely. Time to make some changes. Teko is now on a 6.7, so just having a little word with him. Telling Maxi Alves not to press. Kumalo's tired. He's got 2 goals, but I'm going to take him off anyway. Oliveira can come on now and have a game. I want to rest some of my defenders. So Heidegger can come on. We'll bring Heidegger on for Anderson Jesus. Oh no, for Aber, possibly. And then Galazaro or Redondo is tired. We'll give him a break. And I'm going to bring David in as the DLP. And that's it for now. And we just need to keep doing what we're doing. We've solved this little puzzle as well. And if they score now, it's not going to worry me in the slightest. I think I would like to keep it at 4-1, so at some point I will drop the line back because they're bound to try and speed things up. And now we are 2 points clear again at the top. So yeah, something to think about is you don't always have to drop your lines to pull them out. Drop your mentality and it has the same effect. Because you stop attacking, it pulls them out. And all we did was go to balanced and a couple of other tiny little tweaks, and then we started banging goals in. Thanks, Get Snapped. Really appreciate it, mate. Teko is looking a little tired now, though. Galazaro is tired as well, but we certainly put him to sleep there. Well, is that good news, reckons? I don't know. Is that good news? And do I need to do anything? I'm going to shut the game down. We don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to counter. We'll pull ourselves back into a mid-block, come off that a little bit. We don't need that anymore. We'll go narrow and we'll lower the tempo. We'll just try and shut the game down now. It's for them to score 3 goals. Not quite sure what happened there. A little bit of a glitch, but it went from a throw into a corner. Sneaky. Nicely defended. I think we've got this. And if you notice now, when the goalkeeper distributes, we are defending lower as well. And you can see the gap that we have between the lines. We've got a ton of bodies in there. And that's going to be hard for them to break down. I don't have to do anything now in terms of attack. The press will be enthusiastic enough with a 4-1 victory. We need to do nothing. I think I might have one more sub to make, have I? Or two more? Two more subs. Mustafa Marquinhos can come on for him. And Galazara Atuesta. And that's it. See the game out, boys. I don't know what's the matter in the comments today. Think you all need a beer. So we are getting bodies now back. I'm just going to go to my assistant just to do the last thing I need to do. He doesn't want to help me. Actually, he will help me now. So we'll just get him to set the instructions now, and then that's it. And we shall see this game out, and we've beaten them 4-1. We came from 1-0 down. Nothing to panic about. We just had to get more men forward. That looked like a penalty to me, ref. How come the opposition always get those given as a penalty and I never do? It's the same as when the referee goes over to have a look at his little monitor. When he comes back from a penalty shout for me, it's always no penalty. The opposition, it's always penalty. There's little things in this game they need to tweak a little bit, FM. As well as the tackling. So that when you tackle someone, you have half a chance of winning the ball instead of just giving it away all the time. And that's how you do that. That's how you come from behind. Close the game down. Couple of little tweaks to get your players in a better mood. And we've done it. 4-1. Easy peasy. Well done, boys. Good win. And when I thought we were going to lose, I set up for a draw. And we've won it quite comfortably. We are still top of the league. We are still in all the cup competitions. We are playing well. And this group of players who are very, very young are doing me proud. Where did we start the season? We started the season here. And we've had all this with just one defeat. And a couple of draws. It's absolutely brilliant. So well done to the boys, and thank you all for coming, even if it was a little bit spaced out today. Thanks for coming. I do appreciate it. And thanks for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate that. And if you haven't liked already, leave a like, because likes and comments help the channel to grow. You guys are responsible for helping the channel to grow. And then I will see you guys in the next one, which will be on Monday. And we will continue, hopefully, winning football matches here and dominating the Brazilian league. That's my wish. I don't think I'm going to get it, but we'll try. See you next time, guys. Thanks for coming. Take care. Have a good night.